Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Horror Film Lovers. First time watch Friday. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. And this is going to be interesting because I was supposed to do this yesterday after I watched it, and then things got crazy busy. Wasn't able to record it yesterday. Recording it today, the day that it's actually going out, like only a couple hours before it goes out. It's going to go out at 5. Recorded this at literally 2:30. So we'll see how things go. But anyway, here we go. So this is first time watch Friday, as it normally is on every other Friday. And originally it was going to be like every Friday. That's just not happening right now. Just too much. I didn't realize how busy I was really going to be, and so I'm happy to be able to do it every other Friday and have like 2 Fridays a month. And so here we go. We're going to be talking about the 2023 film Sick, which just came out on Peacock. And I absolutely enjoyed this movie. So all I knew was that it took place during COVID, during the pandemic, and it was written by Kevin Williamson, or co-written by him. That's all I knew. So I didn't know anything else. I sort of knew it had a little bit of a Scream vibe, especially when I sort of knew these people were getting like mysterious texts and stuff. I was like, oh, that seems a little like a little version of Scream, except for like it's not and it's funny because I sort of really enjoyed that aspect of the thing, because there's sometimes I get messages from people I don't know, and does kind of creep me out sometimes. Like I wonder if who these people are that's messaging me. You just never know. So anywho, the idea is that these oh, by the way, this will be spoiler like filled. So just get ready. There will be spoilers. If you have a problem with spoilers, completely get out of this. Like don't listen to this, because there's no way I can talk about this movie without spoiling the ending. And the ending is like the most crucial aspect of this film. So do not get mad, be like, oh, there's spoilers in here, because yeah, I warned you. Absolutely. So, with that being said, here are some, it's, there'll be some spoilers in a second. So, to begin with, like, you see this guy get killed, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, 10 minutes of the movie, and you kind of follow this guy. You see him, he's like the first 10-minute death. Like in Scream, it was Drew Barrymore. So it's kind of sad that it wasn't like a big celebrity that did it. I don't even know who the actor was. But anyway, he died, and you find out later who he was, but in the beginning you don't have no clue who he was and what his connection is to the film. But like as I was watching, I go, okay, you will probably find out what the connection is, just not so anyway, go on to it. So later, um later the stuff happens where um it gets really interesting, because so you follow these two girls right here, and they are on their way to a cabin in like a lake house, which I'm sorry, but I've seen a lot of lake houses in films, and this is the most Hollywood lake house I've ever seen. It's like one of the nicest lake houses ever, built, which is kind of cool. So anyway, there's this really, really nice lake house. So it starts to make me go, oh, okay, this is how it's going to begin, and so it's during lockdowns. They're trying to quarantine themselves. Things get sort of interesting. Um, so the lake, basically the lake house has like all these really nice features to it. And it seems like a cool place. Then they start getting the main girl Parker starts getting mysterious texts, just like the guy in the beginning kind of got mysterious texts. same person kind of fucking with her, saying, might as well jump in. So, meaning somebody is watching her, you don't know who it is. Uh, so I'm gonna skip to the end. I mean, there's other stuff. There's a guy that shows up. You think he potentially could be a killer or something or have something to do with it. He really doesn't. He's just sort of an innocent bystander who's kind of there. And there's reasoning for why, the motive for killing him and at the end, and I'll get to it. You find out there's one guy, and then you find out there's more. Kevin Williamson trope from Scream. There's more than one killer. You find out later it's a family. This mother named Pamela, so very much that had to be inspired by Friday the 13th. Mother who would protect her son. Her son had kissed Parker and got COVID and died of COVID. And then so they decided to kill her and kill the guy that gave it to her, which makes me wonder if I mean, did they try to give it to the guy or to the person who, like, where would it stop? Like, except for the deaths or whatever, but like of the main people of the killers, but like, if they had won this thing, are they going to go after the people that gave it to that one guy and kill them? I think that would have been an interesting ending, is like to see how far this, franchise could go of like, this started to whoever, but I guess it really doesn't matter. The whole idea is like it all stemmed from COVID. And I know like it's a touchy subject. It kind of brought me back to the whole ideas of wearing masks and sort of funny, when you think of horror films and killers wear masks, in the horror films and everything. And I think I even said to myself, I'm surprised nobody's done like a thing about COVID because, and having a killer do that because everybody's wearing a mask, like everyone's wearing imagine if everyone was wearing a similar mask, you could get away with a lot of stuff because they'd be like, oh, is a person wearing a blue mask? Okay, well, a lot of people were wearing blue masks at that time. Um, but yeah, so they mask up, and there's even one point where the woman says, where's your mask? Honestly, I mean, it wasn't perfect. Obviously, there were probably issues with it that uh weren't the greatest. A lot of people didn't like the fact that it was COVID, that was the reasoning. I liked that though. I kind of dug it because it gave us a more fresh, it wasn't put out like the same year as COVID or something, like it gave us some time to breathe, no pun intended, and then end up, then we get something about COVID and take place during then. Um, I see this as a one and done, which kind of sucks. I was hoping that Kevin Williamson would be back with the new franchise. I think the biggest problem and maybe it is, maybe it'll become a franchise. I don't know. Just don't. I guess my biggest problem with the movie is the title "Sick." It just sounds too typical, you know. I know they didn't probably want to get away with the whole, they didn't want to give away the whole thing about COVID and everything, but I would have preferred a more just a better title. I don't know what it could have been called. Sure, there could have been a better title. Maybe there was at one point a different title. But they just decided to go with Sick, because Scream, is one word and Sick is one word. I don't know if that was the case or not. But what I will say is I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's on Peacock. If you haven't seen it and you just heard basically the ending of the movie and everything. Sorry, but like once again, should not have been listening. But if you have seen it, I mean, did you like it? Did you enjoy it? I did. I wasn't surprised because I generally like Kevin Williamson. He's one of my influences as a writer and director. Like he's somebody that I look up to and admire. And so seeing that just sort of that he made this film just sort of made me happy. Especially since I haven't really seen much of him do these things. So, all right, with that, I am done talking about Sick. If there was something you wanted to discuss with it or whatever, please do not put the uh I don't care. You can put spoilers in the comments because once again, it is something that is I've already warned, and I will warn on the thing, like throughout. This will have spoilers. So do not be, I mean, you can't be checking this out and say, "Oh, I didn't know. I wasn't warned," you know. So, um, yeah, there was a few spoilers, and I wanted to make sure I talked about that because most of the time when I review films, I can't talk about something w- by beating around the bush and not talking about the things that actually sort of made it interesting. The ending of that movie is probably a very interesting twist, in my opinion. I like that they set the chick on fire, the woman on fire. Does that mean she's dead? I think so, but maybe not. Maybe she will be alive and just burnt, kind of like in The Burning. Who knows? We'll find out if they ever do a sequel. My biggest problem, I guess, too, is that it wasn't in the theaters. Like, why wasn't this in the theaters? Blumhouse is doing so well. I mean, they just did Megan, which was great. They did this, which is great. I mean, what is going on? Why, they are back on top of it after the disappointment that I felt with Halloween Ends. This is making up for it. So these two movies just in this year alone already make up for whatever. So hopefully, Insidious, the new Insidious will be amazing. I'm just excited about it all. Can't wait to see everything. So until then, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. And we will be back in 2 weeks for a brand new episode. So it'll be in February. It'll be a brand new episode. So until then, everybody, bye.